Hi, welcome to Into Health. I'm doing some classes, yoga classes that focus on to the acupuncture channels. So I just wanted to introduce you a little bit to the channels and the theory of the channels, so that basically you can refer to them as you're doing the acupuncture or sessions, which is also very useful for that, because if you're going for an acupuncture session, at least you start knowing a little bit about the elements. It's all based on the 5 elements, and in Chinese medicine you have channels that are working in pairs. So there's the yin and the yang element, I'm gonna go into it, of the same channel, and then they're also paired up by name into other things. So one channel normally is related to 2 other channels at least, okay? And then within those channels you've got points, acupuncture points throughout the channels that interconnect with other channels and with other points, okay? So let's start with the metal element. So in 5 elements, you've got 5 elements obviously. So you've got the metal. After the metal, you've got water, you've got wood, you've got fire, and you've got earth. As you can see from the chart, metal comes after the earth element and before the water element. And there's all interactions that happen between the elements, which I will describe in another video, okay? So there's different characteristics to the different elements. The metal element is related to autumn, and the channels that are related to the metal element are the lung in the yin side and the large intestine on its yang side. In nature, if you look at nature, so because it's elements and it's 5 elements are in nature, we start looking at first how it manifests that element in nature, and then how it corresponds to the body. So in nature, you see that in autumn the plants stop growing, the trees stop sending the sap and the nourishment to the leaves, and which turn in color, and then they start to fall, and the fallen leaves then decompose and return to the soil. So autumn is a time of withering and decaying. And in the natural world, the metal element is formed deep inside the earth, where high temperatures and pressures cause molecules to separate into various layers. Some layers cool quickly and form volcanic basalts, and others condense much more slowly, so they've got time to push away the impurities and develop into metals and ores. So if you were to observe the natural cycles, autumn would be the time of the year when you want to eliminate what is unnecessary, storing up only what is needed for winter. This is a time of restraint, separation, and refinement. So metal, which is the autumn season, comes just before the water element, which is the winter season, okay? So the autumn time and the metal time is a time for restraint, separation, and refinement. And metal is a pure substance generated by a process of reduction, and it represents the transformation of gross materials of nature into pure essence. And this is the process of revelation through reduction. So autumn is the seasons for gathering in and stocking up. In terms of yin and yang energy, you all know the Tai Chi symbol. In the autumn season is the beginning of the yin energy starting to predominate over the yang energy. So summer is the culmination of the yang energy, and which is just before the yang energy of the spring, which is the time where the yang starts to emerge again, and you can see this blooming everywhere where the energy goes outward. So autumn is the opposite of the spring, and therefore that energy is more gathering in. So the plants start sending the sap to their roots and stop nourishing the branches. So the energetic movement is contracting, pulling in and dying back. Okay? So the yin energy stores, moistens, cools, and sustains the body, while the yang energy warms, transforms, activates, and moves the body. Autumn time is the beginning of the predominance of the yin energy over the yang energy, and the metal yin organ, as I said before, is the lung, and its yang organ is the large intestine. Now, the lung is the organ that draws in and refines our vital energy, qi, sending it downwards to nourish our roots with pure essence. So the lungs rule the skin. So the lungs are in charge of the skin, which actually is one of the biggest organs in the body, and it's the outer layer of our body. So the lungs protect us against external invasions and safeguards us our internal resources. The large intestine is the organ that absorbs the water and nutrients and eliminates the unnecessary, playing the part of refinement and separation. When the metal energy is depleted, you can suffer from recurrent colds and flus, allergies, sinus problems, accumulation of mucus of phlegm, not only in the nose but also in the chest, asthma, short of breathness, a weak voice, but also from problems of elimination, so constipation or digestive problems. From an emotional point of view, the lungs are linked with the emotion of grief, and there is also an inability of letting go and issues with boundaries. The metal likes dryness, which is the successor of dampness, which is part of the earth element, and the summer. After the humid summer, autumn drains the moisture, but too much dryness leads to parching and the absence of vital fluids, and too much water it leads to dampness. So if the lungs are not strong enough to dry out the moisture of the summer and of the earth, then what tends to happen is that this dampness accumulates in the body, for giving other problems, which I will discuss in the earth element. So you need to have a fine balance to keep everything in balance. With the yoga class specific for the lung and large intestine, we start with a qigong exercise that focuses on the lung and the large intestine, but there is also this opening up of the chest and opening up of the arms, because the lung channels is running through the arm, so through the arm on the front, which I'm going to show you in the chart, and the large intestine is also running on the arm, and it ends up at the nose on the opposite side. So you can see that obviously to start activating the acupuncture channels, you need to stretch the arms and you need to basically open the chest. Okay? So I hope this helps for you to start understanding all the different elements and how they interact in the body and how they work in the body.